Hey, hi. I'm your host, Grimmfiend, or Jay. Um, Yesterday was a very erratic outburst. I don't know how to detail that, but sorry. Sorry for that. Because I had meant to basically do like another commentary style like this, followed up by another horror tale. So to make up for it, guess what? I'm going to try to do my best to make both of them longer. Especially the horror tales one. I'm actually shocked that y'all do like those a lot because it's like for me, a lot of the stuff that I've been like seeing lately is just like so cheap, you know? Especially within the film, I mean within like the direction and realm of horror, you know? It's like I feel like they've kind of lost their edge, that flavor. Now, there's some good horror, but I hate to say that the bad definitely outweigh the good. What is it? Some of y'all probably saw this earlier whenever I was streaming and stuff like that. I know the headband with the little hair thing that I'm wearing right now, it looks pretty goofy, but to be honest and fair, it does work for me especially, you know? I don't know, I just like the everything about it. It just makes me feel nice, calm, and it's funny. Not to mention, it feels pretty warm. If I ever could have hair like this, I actually would pick it. But enough of that. It's like, why do people care so deeply about how you look, this, that, and the third? You know? Because if you think about it, unless you're going to see these people every day, unless you're looking for a partner, I get it. Appearances are everything to a degree. But then you have people like me that go outside and do not care. I will wear something if it mismatches, whatever the hell. It's like, I don't care about that stuff. I will go to Walmart with like some shorts, a muscle shirt, and then that's it. Even if it's like blazing cold. Now, I know that seems crazy, but see, here's the thing. What helps me get over that is I'm not going to see these people. Not ever again in my life. And if I do, how much weirder would it be for that person to sit there and go like, "Oh, aren't you that guy that went into Walmart wearing some shorts and a muscle shirt?" versus you doing it? It's going to be weird on both sides because it's like you have a good memory, but why would you remember that? Always so caught up on what people think, and it's crazy. I envy people who are more devoutly religious because it's like the only person you have to worry about is whatever entity that you worship. That's also another thing that we fail to account and look at, that there are other religions besides Christianity. Buddhism. What is it? What is it? I know in India, and then over there in Asia, in Asian countries, and then definitely for some Africans as well. We all have different things. Also, I found it weird today. It's like, basically, I made a new friend, right? And I had guided this new friend through town and stuff like that. And it's nice to have a good, refreshing, just conversation about, you know, how life is somewhere else. For her, she's from Little Rock, Arkansas. And me, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Basically, we both grew up on the countryside and stuff like that, and we had some fun. We basically just went around town, just, what is it? I was just showing her like all the good spots and stuff like that around town, and just, it was nice and enjoyable. Damn it. Kind of hate how it's like you want to be yourself to a degree, but it's like you get in the way of your own way, you know? Because it's like you want to be free, you want to basically be able to do this, that, and the third, but you have to be ready for those consequences, you know? For example, for me, I want to move out because it's like, here's the weird thing, it's like, excuse me, every time I do move out or every time I go off and do my own thing, you know, my family will be like, sometimes they alternate between like, you need to go get your own house, you need to go get your own this, that, and the third. And it's a little bit irritating because it's like, whenever I do go and do that, they're like, hey, you can always still stay over here. Hey, you can always just stay with X, Y, and Z. And it's like, but y'all were just telling me to get my own place. Do not backpedal. And not nothing relating to family, but it's like, why is it whenever we hold people to the same standards that they hold us to, they can't be able to comprehend or deal with that? For example, this is pretty extreme, but it's like, no cheating. And it's like, I go and I catch you cheating, and it's like, word, I'm gonna go and cheat myself. Now, if something like that were to happen, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a petty piece of shit. I'm petty. For whatever you think I might be good, I am also the opposite. Just like any other human, we are capable of so much that I don't think we should say it. Because if someone says, you don't like me when I'm angry, it's like, no shit, nobody likes anyone when they're angry. They're unstable. You don't know what they could do. Unless you've probably seen them numerous times control that said emotion. Also, I hope you enjoy the rain noises in the background. It's supposed to be calming, so let me move the TV to where you can see more of this beautiful downpour. Oh, and now that I'm thinking about it now, I basically have to go and set a alarm right now because I have work at 5 o'clock, which is in the next 14 hours, you know? But we're now here at Reddit because I'm going to give my brain a little bit of a break and look at r/deep thoughts. This person says, falling in love is for weak and fragile people. I want to say I feel strongly different about this, but let's see where they go with this. I think falling in love is for fragile people because relying on a specific person to give you attention means you don't think you're worthy enough by yourself. And I think strong people do get married, but they do not marry out of love because these people find love in everything. They think that they are worthy of love and they are it. They do not need a significant other because they are the ones who give it. Another point, I feel like lust is stronger than love in romantic relationships, and without lust, it's just like any other bond. Just like this comment from this other person said, everyone is weak and fragile in some way. There's no Iron Man of love. You can admit that you need somebody. That brings up something else. Why are we afraid to admit what we truly feel? Because here's what I've learned, and take it from me. If you are vulnerable, if you are this, that, and the third with this person, and they perceive it negatively or brush you off, but then proceed to try to tell you some deep shit or whatever, it lets you know where they lie. Now, you can still listen to that person, or you can basically be gone with that person. That's my personal take with it. You might stick around, you might do whatever you want. Personally, if I don't like you, I'll still listen to it just so I can use it as a weapon against you because fuck you. I basically trusted you. I tried to be vulnerable and just everything with you, and you brush it off because you lack the emotional capability to take it into account for this other person besides yourself. People are selfish. I try to be... Here's the thing, I'm also selfish as well. Except for, see, here's the thing. I try to make it beneficial because I'd rather have a win-win situation to where it's like we can continue to keep building off of each other instead of like one person gains one thing and then the other person gains nothing. Even still, if I can't get the win-win that I want, just seeing you happy enough is already enough. Now then, to follow up with what this other person said, some people do live happy lives as single people. I don't see this as a shrink, just a different way of life. And it's all about perspective. They meet certain needs in other ways, like socially, or they go without some things, but they have an abundance of time and freedom. When you're in a relationship, your time and your freedom is also half or more than half of that is going to be with that person or whatever you dictate. Another person says the ones convincing themselves that their heart isn't fragile are often the ones falling from the highest mountain when reality hits. Another person is saying, you don't get an option when it comes to falling in love. Only what you're going to do about it. Love is stronger than death. It may be the only thing that's stronger than death in this life. There's a different type of connection when it comes to love. The fuck, did my mouse die? Sorry about that, guys. We have a slight delay. I think my mouse just died. Hope I don't have to change out the batteries. That would super suck. But like this person said, there's different types of connections when it comes to love, because there's that feeling of just falling, you know? This person says it's similar to lust, and it's like we don't have much control over it. Falling in love is both beautiful and unfair a lot. Love is essentially like faith, which is a lot. Another person says something that basically rings a lot with myself. I'm great by myself. I'm even better with my wife. Perhaps one day someone worthwhile will give you the time of day. I suspect you'll feel different. Okay, I don't agree with this part. I suspect you'll feel differently because right now you sound miserable. I don't like the idea that everyone is meant to find a lover. The love found between best friends and family is much more pure and selfless than a romantic partner. That is very subjective. Oh, never mind. These people are just flaming this guy that said that. I think everything is very subjective, and it's just... It's very subjective because you find what just works for you. Another person basically says, hyper-intelligence came with the cost of our humanity. We've become hyper-aware of everything. Whereabouts of others, conflicts, how to make money, sexuality, everything. Well, the only thing I really have to figure out is how to make bloody money, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I just want enough to where I can just cover myself, to where I can be able to live on my own, and at least have like a little bit of extra stuff to just spend on my siblings. Just save up enough to where it's like I can get a car steadily over time. Just, you know, get my essential shit, and that's all that I really need. And whatever is left over, I want to be able to at least give that back to y'all, because it's like, you support me and I'll support you. I mean, I feel like that's fair. And it's just like, I don't need all that fucking money. I don't need that shit ton of money. How many times have you seen like a bunch of people where it's like they have an excess of money and it's just like, hey, it is their money. It is their money, but it's like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, how much money is too much money? Because whenever you're about to pass away, you can't really take that with you. You gotta pass it on. Assuming if you do. I feel like you're a true asshole if you basically just get all of your money and you bury yourself with it like it's a fucking treasure hunt, like it's some Uncharted shit. But everybody likes to be generous with other people's money, and I'm not gonna lie, I fall for that trap too sometimes. Everybody likes to be generous with everyone else's stuff, but when it comes to their own stuff, we are constantly trying to find a new edge to outdo others. It's an endless chase. You know what's something that has helped me out a lot? Don't compare yourself to others. Now look, this works for me. This works for me. You can try it for yourself and see if it works, and I hope it does. I hope it does. Do not compare yourself to others. You have your own thing that's going on. They have their own thing that's going on. It's crazy, and it's just, don't compare yourself. Compare yourself to yourself, if that makes sense. Not in the sense of like yesterday, like I did this, like compare yourself to a year ago. Compare yourself to 2 years ago. Compare yourself to 3, 4, 5, goddamn 10, and see how far you've come. And the mouse has died again. Very irritating. And my rain music is gone. Dingle dangle Kris Kringle. Okay, Adobe, okay. But it's made us disconnected from what it means to be human. Yes, we know more. We have all the conveniences we can think of. Better health, but that pursuit has cost us a peace of mind because we sacrificed everything that's important along the way. Families, connections, empathy, generosity, privacy, kindness, and appreciation for what we have. These are all the things that have progressively given up as humanity pursued bigger and better. As a result, you're more depressed, anxiety-riddled, angry, and etc. I want you to listen to something very important. You and you alone. Whatever you're doing, look at the screen because we're about to have an eye-to-eye. A lot of the things that you consume, especially on social media, I know this better than anyone else. And I'm happy with what I look at because it makes me happy and it doesn't make me angry. If you decide to look at people getting butchered and killed all day, I'm going to be honest with you. That's on you. That is on you. Now, sure, it gets fed within a vacuum and you got sucked up in that vacuum. Type shit. You choose to keep looking at that. And it's because of that, people like my friends and family will sit there and be like, the world is such an evil place. The world is evil and beautiful. The world is a beautiful nightmare. It is literally whatever you make out of it, as crazy as it is. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you decide to look at kittens all day, cool. If you decide to look at brain-rotted shit of people getting up, dancing, twerking, jerking, sucking on water bottles, that is on you. That is literally on you. If you want to look up video game, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I look up. I look up video game news because I fucking love video games. I look up martial arts stuff. I look up just shit, even Twitch drama. I don't know why, it's just interesting to me. Fucking love that man, Black Boy Max. He's fucking amazing. But there's some other shit across the board. To where it's just like, whatever you look at, whatever you consume, that makes you. So if you always have that one person, and it's just like, they're always looking at like, tragic shit or whatever the fuck, and then they're informing you about it, it's just like, I love you enough to tell you this. Stop looking at that shit. Because guess what? That's going to warp your worldview into just thinking everything is dangerous. And you know what? It is. But we also forget that there's some good going along with it. You know? You gotta take that good with the bad, and you gotta take that bad with the good. Because we can look up anything, and we choose to look up some of the dumbest shit in the world. This person says, trust in a person is not that different from money in a bank. You can make deposits and withdrawals, but you can also end up in debt. I know this might seem pessimistic. This person watched an episode of Film Theorists giving advice to MCU about how to continue their franchise, and they compared it to their own channels, claiming making good movies or videos that the audience love are the equivalent of making deposits into your audience's trust into the product. However, make a very crappy video, or one that's not the one that the audience would enjoy, you're making a withdrawal. And for every withdrawal of everyone's trust, your audience is less likely to seek out every video you put out. And if you make so many crappy videos or movies that your audience considers you in debt of their trust, then that means it's going to take a lot to bring them back. Essentially, this person said, like making No Way Home, the Spider-Man one. To be fair and honest, that revigorated a lot of people's, if we think about like the MCU, for example, it felt bland, didn't it? It felt bland for a while, but then it's just like, they started making genuine quality stuff again. Because I remember, man, it's a little bit hard for me to remember this because it's a little bit of pain. I'm gonna wait till these ads are done because this shit is irritating me.
It showcases every ounce of what an album means. I can keep training even in the dead of winter. I could just put on my gear.
Okay, I'm sorry to do this in the middle of the video, but I'm going to get a battery because my mouse decided to die, so yippee yow, yippee yay. Fucking hell. I'm sorry, I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, I have retrieved the battery for the mouse, and it is working. Hell yeah. For example, it's like, a lot of people want to be YouTubers by and not, but because it's such an unknown thing, when I say unknown thing, right, essentially what I mean is, a lot of y'all don't know what the hell you're going to do. A lot of y'all don't know what the hell you're going to be doing. And because of that, you won't do anything. And that's honestly okay. You'll be ready when you're ready. I'm not going to rush you. I'm not going to do none of that stuff outside of what you do to yourself. Essentially, when you first start out, don't look towards the views and stuff like that. If you do want to look towards the views, look at doing trending stuff, you know? But do trending stuff that you actually want to do. I'm actually getting kind of excited talking about this because this is the shit that I wish I had told myself, you know? Whether you're small, big, whatever you decide to become or grow into, a lot of people forget that you have to build up actual authenticity. What do I mean by that? This is legitimately me. All of me. What I mean by that is whatever comes out of my mouth. There's no way I can hide it. There's no way that I can be dishonest, lie to you. No, none of that. It is just pure and honest. And it scares me because the way how my mind works sometimes is like, I'll say something, I'll think something before I end up saying it, and then I'll end up thinking about what I want to say. It's like, for example, like peanut butter right now. I don't know why the fuck that came to mind. And sometimes I can sidetrack and go off into peanut butter, this and the other third. But then we just rope it back in and be like, hey, it's going to take some time for you to find and do exactly what you want to do YouTube-wise, which is what this person is saying, while also comparing it to Marvel. Because Marvel, over time, basically said, hey, we're making some pretty weird to not good movies and stuff, and everyone's just like, y'all keep throwing out shit. We're not cool with this. I'm going to extend this to other shows, especially video games, because, you know, this is mainly like a variety channel, and I do a lot of video games. The Witcher, for example. Lord. They made it more about Yennefer and the other cast, except for fucking Geralt. And what happened? Ooh, people did not like the show. Let's look at another example. You ready for what I'm about to say next? Halo. You don't reveal Master Chief's face, helmet. I mean, it is you don't reveal who Master Chief is, because a lot of the times why people do that type of stuff is that anyone can envision themselves in the suit. It's like Spider-Man. Even though we know he's Peter Parker and stuff like that, he's very relatable. And once he puts that suit on, anybody, and because of how it looks and what it represents, all that shit, it basically means you can be that as well. Same thing for Superman, same thing for Batman, most superheroes, but I'm really into anti-heroes. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I fucking love Batman to the moon and back, but god fucking damn, if he killed Joker, there would be no problems. There would be no problems. There would still be some problems, but not as much. I know if Batman were to start killing, he wouldn't be able to stop. But god fucking damn, I don't care what anyone says. A lot of those deaths are on Batman. If you had fucking killed Joker. Now that's a sidetrack, but besides that, let's go back into what this person was saying, and then give more tutelage and shit like that towards the end. It is kind of depressing to think that humans work like that, but I think it's kind of true for all relationships. I thought about this because I'm currently on a retreat from a group that I really like. I'm upstairs because I'm introverted and artistic, and can't always socialize amazingly well. I can hear other people downstairs having a good time, and it made me a little jealous that I don't have that kind of energy more often. I really like this group though, so while feeling a bit left out is a withdrawal, it's not enough for my brain to consider them in debt. There are groups I can think of that I don't trust at all. I consider them in debt or not having as much trust deposited in my brain. So if I was having the same experience with them, the withdrawal would hurt more or a lot more. It's a shame to think our relationships are like that, but in a way it makes a lot of sense. It does. If someone is treating you poorly, it would make sense for you to consider that a withdrawal of your trust. If you can communicate and find common ground or even an apology, that would be a deposit. Even if not by the same degree as the original withdrawal. It's fascinating to think of. Ooh. In terms, we can basically talk about a shit ton of YouTubers. We can talk about a shit ton of famous people, this, that, and the other third. The biggest thing that I'm not even worried about this, but to be fair and honest with you, it is a possibility. Let's just say if I were to end up becoming famous, I stumble across a large amount of money or whatever, would I end up losing? No, that's a fucking lie. I had a shit ton of money before, and yeah, you know what happened with it? I basically learned a lot. I learned a lot about people. I thought whenever I obtained that shit ton of money, this is also my fault too. It's more my fault than anything else. All the people that I thought had... God, this is hard for me to say because it makes me look like an idiot. But at the same time, it's just, if you can learn from it, please do. Please fucking do. I tried thinking, I tried going about it like, hey, these people have helped me out in the past before. I can finally help and repay them back in some type of way, you know? And I didn't even owe these people money. And I didn't go around flaunting my wealth, but some people just figured out I had a shit ton of money. Or you end up probably telling one person you think you can trust, and it's different. It ends up being different. Or this is previously back then, I had to learn this. I thought that I could buy people's love and affection and stuff like that. That's a huge no-no. Because I thought that as I was getting closer to a romantic partner and stuff like that, that they ended up using me for my money and stuff like that. And yeah, it just was not good. In hindsight, I was aware of it, but I was just thinking, nah, she's not like that, you know? And lo and behold, I was wrong. That's also another thing. Don't be afraid to admit that you're wrong. I get that admitting you're wrong or whatever makes you stupid, or it seems that way. But to be fair and honest, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? If you fail, all you learn is what not to do, and you get one step closer to seeing what works. This is the shit I wish I was told. Because when I had all that fucking money back then, I'm going to be honest with y'all. You know how much it was? I know a lot of y'all are going to call me idiots because I'm going to call myself a fucking idiot. 20,000. All I have to show for it is my fucking PC. I spent fucking 1,500 and it's a Starforge PC. Hey, yo, Asmongold, thank you for that shit. Ooh. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for that, Asmongold. But basically, I was handing out, I was a fucking idiot. I was handing out money to people that I thought would be there for me. I thought I could, I trusted them in some other shit, and well, I did try to start up a business, but, a lot of things had happened with me and that business partner that, Jesus Christ, that's an illegal ass story. That is a story we can't tell for another day. That story is filled with a lot of illegal shit. Oof. Ooh-wee. But basically, the way how I saw that 20K is I got to learn life lessons. That was the price of it. In comparison to what I would make later on down the line and shit like that, I'm gonna be honest, it was worth it. It was worth it. Now, if I had that fucking 20K, I'd definitely go about shit differently. I'll be fair with you on that. I was a fucking naive idiot. Worst part is, I was aware of some of the things too, but I should have stopped myself, and I didn't. Well, this person says the system rewards egotistical behavior and distracts us from what truly matters. The idea that hard work equals success, and that we truly live in a meritocracy overlooks a huge flaw in our system. It assumes that everybody has an equal opportunity to succeed, but that is often not the case. I definitely feel that. Because, see, some things are luck based. I'm going to be fair with you. Now, I don't believe in luck, but that's like the best way to put it. Some things just randomly happen. Now, like doing YouTube, like doing literally anything else, let me tell y'all something. This is why I don't quit at anything. Sure, no matter what you do, the odds are going to be stacked against you. But you know what you learn? The more and more you keep trying. I'm going to sound like a crazy motherfucker for this, and there's no way you can convince me differently on this. Sorry if this comes across as being egotistical, arrogant, cocky, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But this is how I see it, and this can also help you out as well. You basically make and create your own chances. The more and more you keep going with it, sure, everyone will tell you, hey, you're not going to make it. Hey, you're not going to do this, that, and the other third. It just lets you know who supports you within reason, because there's also a reason why these people say it. But if someone can tell you why not to do it, instead of just flat out saying no, here's the thing, you got to ask a shit ton of questions. You're going to have to just keep going with it, because if you really want it, also, this motherfucking thing, I almost flipped my thing off. You create your own chances, because how do you think people do businesses and stuff like that? How do you think they start and do all of them? They don't give up with it. Sure, they fail in some aspects, and you might have some people that will ridicule you, hold that against you, and etc. But you also got to look at them. Sometimes they aren't doing shit. They just want you to be just like them, or whatever the fuck. I mean, it's easy to chalk it up to that, so okay, we'll just chalk it up to that. But the more and more you fail, the closer you get to what is going to work. It's just like working out. Basically, you have to break your body down. If you look at me, right? I'm 5'9", 5 foot 9 inches. Sorry for all my international viewers. Hold up, let's look it up. I think I'm 175 centimeters. Let's look that up real quick. 5'9" in centimeters. Yeah, 175 centimeters. I'm roughly average height. Now, over here in America, everyone and their mom will be like, you're short. I don't give a shit. I will still whoop your fucking ass. But that's besides the point. I mean, unless you pull a gun on me, I'm not no superhero. You can just blick my ass and I'm fucking gone. But who cares to a degree with what you're limited with? You have to find some way to make it work. Because if you really want that thing you're going for, you're going to keep trying and trying until it works. Don't forget, you have to take different approaches to it. And you really have to go into it to see if this is something that you want. That's the only way that you'll figure it out, you know? But back to what this person was saying before I cut things off and became a wet turnip. Excuse me. Where was I? Those with greater access to resources, quality education, connections, and opportunities are much more likely to succeed, while those without that access are left to struggle. I know it's like the hard work equals success, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, but The thing is, especially with doing something like this, you have to create your own opportunities if they're not given to you. Who knows, I might feel differently about this by the end of this. But the root cause of all of this is that our systems reward and promote behaviors that prioritize personal gain over the collective well-being of everybody. Worst part is they aren't wrong. They aren't wrong. I could hide. Actually, no. I want to do everything underneath the guise of I want to just. That's basically what a YouTube channel is, unless you do it with a group. If you do it with a group, that's differently. You're basically doing this for yourself or for whatever reason you want to put out there. For me, this is just like a way to express myself because I like to believe I'm creative, whatever the fuck, in every other aspect. Literally whatever you can throw and pin at me. Yes. But personal gain over the collective well-being of everybody is just like, sure, we can try to uplift everybody, but it's just like people can toss and turn like a beanbag, say this, that, and the third, and it's just my bad. I don't know where I'm really going with that. I actually, yeah. Let me just stop and hold off everything towards the end so that way I can form a better opinion, and hopefully you can as well. Gotta spit this out, fuck. At its core, our system promotes competition over collaboration and cooperation. It results in somewhat of a zero-sum game where one person wins, where one person's win is another person's loss. But in a truly thriving society, we should encourage individuals to value doing what's right for the collective good. I'm going to argue to say in a thriving community, we all encourage each other instead of destroying and dismantling that person for whatever that they can be able to get to. That's why I say the things that work best for me are win-win situations instead of, aha, I've toppled you, aha, I'm better than you. I'm gonna be honest with you. If someone has to say that they're better than me, they've already lost. Why are you comparing yourself to me in the first place? But in a truly, I've already read that. Not of fear of punishment or societal condemnation, but because it's inherently valuable. A society that promotes fairness and empathy would inspire people to work together for the betterment of all. Here's the worst part. I understand both sides. The individualistic aspect of it, you have to think about these very successful people, the people that we deem successful and more. They've done any and everything to get to that position that they wanted to in most cases. There are some outliers, but we're going to generalize because, well, that's what makes sense for now. They have done any and everything to get to the top. Their morals, sure, are very questionable, or they have none, but at the same time, you're going to have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you might even have to sacrifice other people. This would be the better human experience for everyone. Corporations and politicians understand this dynamic and manipulate it by targeting our primal emotions: fear, greed, and insecurity, through advertising and political rhetoric that make us believe what we need more, or that the other side is evil, or that we can succeed at the expense of others. This keeps us distracted from what really matters and allows the wealthy and powerful to maintain their power and status quo. In a true democracy, I like what this person is saying, but I do hate that in a very subjective tone. It's like to them, this is like the true and well end all be all. If someone says in a true, just say in my definition or in my case, it would be this. But I think what this person is trying to insinuate is just by the definition, you know? The government's main focus should be on serving the people, and this power should lie in the hands of the people. That is very true. The collective will of the people should be what's guiding the decisions, not corporate lobbying in the interests of a few wealthy and powerful people. But that's not the case. We are really only given two options when picking most candidates. Both funded by the wealthy, which ensures that the cycle of ego-driven behavior and distraction continues. If we shifted our focus to systems that prioritize cooperation, empathy, and fairness, we could be working towards a world where success isn't about relentless competition and winning at the expense of others, but about contributing to the greater good of our world and humanity, and valuing genuine human progress, not just technological advancements. I don't believe this issue is the result of one person or a grand scheme to control the world. Rather, is how our systems have evolved over time. We haven't critically examined whether they truly serve the greater good of society. Instead, we've accepted them as they are and focus on making them more complex, assuming complexity inherently means things get better. In doing so, we've allowed systems to grow in ways that disproportionately benefit the few without fully considering their impact on the well-being of all. Our focus should shift to reassessing and simplifying these systems to prioritize fairness, cooperation, and the collective good, rather than complicating structures that only maintain inequality. Am I wrong to believe that the system deliberately rewards selfish, egotistical behavior and distracts us from what is truly important? Sorry for the word salad. Like, to me, I understood what that person was saying, but to basically simplify it, that last thing that person said, is it wrong to believe that the system deliberately rewards selfish, egotistical behavior and distracts us from what is truly important? You're not wrong to think that. But in all fairness, if you want to bring about a change and more, you're going to have to do this yourself, instead of throwing it out there in the void. But for now, I would love to be able to bring a change and more about this, but the only way that I can be able to do that is if you have enough resources, this, that, and the other third, enough credit. I want to say social credit. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some like China shit. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some shit like that, social credit, to where it's like you basically have to become like an influence to a degree. That's what politicians are. They influence things. Alright, let's try to find one more because unfortunately we're going to be running up to the 60 minutes. Oh God. This is something I'm not ready to say or admit to quite yet, but this person did bring this up. I realized that breakups are key to growth in my life. That will have to be something for another day because I myself have been in too many relationships. I'll even dare to say. But after those relationships, I end up becoming a better person. And it's weird to look at and reflect on because I'm not stuck in the same position that they left me off at. But sure, shortly afterwards, I am absolutely devastated and I lose my will to live in some regards, or just every negative aspect that you can think of. But shortly afterwards, I get tired of moping, groaning and shit, of just seeing what I've become. And I end up rebuilding myself a lot better than previously. My ex, some of y'all know her, some of y'all don't. She is the reason why a lot of my Twitch, my YouTube, and some of that stuff is going great in some regards. And I owe her that. Or at least I feel like I do. Now, how she had did me towards the end and more was just... that is her own personal stuff. That she has never told me, no nothing. I want to wish her the best and more. And I know that this sounds absolutely mean, or whatever, but you deserve everything that happens to you in life. Good or bad. Whether that reflects poorly on me or not, I'm still hurt. And this is the only time that I have intentionally said something that may hurt you. Now then, to go on to the next thing. This person says, if you stare at the abyss stares at you. Oh, never mind. This is something yeah, I'm just going to leave that one be. What the hell? There is no better way to find peace than embracing chaos. Ah. If you can find peace within all the chaos and more, one thing you will learn about me is chaos, crazy shit, and all that in between is my specialty. And I hope you don't miss out on it. I want you to buckle up, or don't. Because either way, once you get into this ride, we're going to bump and glide. And don't worry if you don't have that seatbelt on. You might get hurt, you might get whatever, but you definitely won't be able to get off the bus. This is your only chance now to basically just leave. And if you do leave, we enjoy you having whatever time, whatever you felt, just anything. Thank you for spending that time exclusively with Grimm's Midnight Commentary. Well, now that we're signing off, you can call me Grimm or you can call me Jay. Either one works out. Well, now we're going into the next thing. Grimm's Midnight Horror Tales. Have a great one.